Wow,
that you've dealt with in your
oh
poetry?
man, just poverty,
Okay.
drug abuse. You know, unfortunate these days. I mean, HIV and AIDS in the Bronx is overwhelming these days. You know, I try to tell these kids that when you write the truth, but also write the positivity in that truth. Find the truth in your poem, and I just try to really just grasp. One of my latest series is when you go on Watson Avenue, you see the Rest in Peace murals, and you see that literally tagged up and drawn beautiful graffiti murals. And my latest series has been giving those murals a voice. In other words, instead of seeing something say "Rest in Peace, Nelson," what would Nelson say if he saw himself against that wall?
And
So
you wrote a poem about that?
I wrote several poems about that. Yeah. Do I have them memorized? Don't
No,
ask
no,
me
no,
that
no,
now.
that's very exciting, though. I mean, that sounds fascinating.
Yes. Yes.
And you, Rich? I mean, what are the issues that come up in
The
your
issues
poetry?
that come up for me, I was born in Jersey. I wasn't born in New York. And my issues are more of a sort of being caught in the middle all the time. Being caught between the city and the suburbs, being caught between Puerto Rico, Cuba, and the United States.
That's your ancestry?
That's
Okay.
that's definitely my ancestry. And trying to express linguistically all of that confusion. For me, my poetry is a poetry of searching. It's a poetry of
Self-exploration.
Self-exploration.
Is there a lot of Spanglish in your poetry?
It comes up.
It
Yes.
does come up.
It does. It does come up, and that's the one thing that we're trying to do is saying, you know what, the American canon of poetry cannot accept what we write, but you know what, we still are going to write it because it will be accepted, either through our generation or the next or the next. You know, we have vision of our centers going for the next 30, 40, 50 years. You know, we want to create a national umbrella of Latino poetry. You know, get all the Chicano brothers and sisters from the West Coast, Arizona, the East Bay, California, all come under the umbrella of Latino poetry. That's what we're going to do. So it's a really big picture that we have.
No, very ambitious plans, but I think
Yeah.
you know, I think what you have going is terrific.
Thank you.
Because it really gives you know, it just expands culture in the
Yes,
Bronx,
yes.
which is so necessary. You know,
Yes.
and so I'm fascinated by all of that, everything that you guys are doing. But tell me, look, let's say that I'm somebody who really, you know, totally lost. I just came into the borough, and I don't know anything about what's coming up, and you know, I want to know about what's happening in terms of poetry in the Bronx. Tell me about who's up and coming, who's the new star that you see, who's good from the Bronx that's going to be like really worth noting, aside from you guys.
Aside from us.
Aside from us. I'm going to answer that by saying a lot of the kids that I teach at the Citizens Advice Bureau, I'm there twice a week. This is my 4th year teaching them, and these young kids are really blazing the trails. Granted, not too many of them are Latinos, but to me, they're all still accepting the same umbrella. I have this one student, her name is Taylor Clark. She's an incredible young poet, still maybe 15, 16 years old. She shies away from the spotlight. She just wants to write her poetry. And I love that about her. That's one person who really sticks out.
Do some
to
come
me.
in and just do Spanish poetry in Spanish? Or is it mostly in English?
Yeah.
Mostly in English.
Yeah. We get some. One of the best parts of having our centers was we had a gentleman come into our centers about 3 years ago, and he's like, I heard about you guys on the internet, and I'm here to read my poem. I'm from Spain.
No.
Blew my mind away. We have people from Spain coming to our poetry bar just to read their poems. It's incredible.
In terms of up-and-coming writers, I would definitely echo Fish's sentiment about the kids. I would also add, you know, a couple of voices that are in our space a lot. I'm thinking of 2 writers in particular who they get out there, but not as much as they should. But they're definitely Bronx kids, or poets from the Bronx. One is the current host of the show. His name is John Rodriguez. And the other is Anthony Morales, who used to go to the New Eurekan Poets Cafe on a more regular basis, but now is coming up to the Bronx a little more often. And you know, he's writing some crazy stuff, and so is John. Those 2 off the top of my head, I can tell you, but there's, you know,
one of the things that I actually love is that we've been around 5 years, and in those 5 years we have seen other Latino poetry readings come and not go, look towards us for advice and use us as mentors. One example is El Grito de Poetas, which is a brand new poetry group. Actually been around for 2 years, actually 3 years. The anniversary is coming up. another poetry readings in Brooklyn called Capicu Reading Series. And there's just 2 other Latino reading series that started, and they use us as the mentors.
All right, we're out of time, but we want to tell our viewers again, when and where can they go see you?
They can catch us at the Bruckner Bar and Grill every second and fourth Tuesday of the month.
All year?
All year round.
Second and fourth Tuesday?
Second and fourth Tuesdays at the Bruckner Bar and Grill.
At what time?
At 7:30.
7:30, sure.
You can catch us on the internet at louderarts.com.
Okay, we'll put that on the screen.
Yes, louderarts.com/acentos, and we are also on MySpace, myspace.com/Acentos Bronx Poetry Showcase.
All one word.
Good luck to you guys.
Thank
Happy
you.
to have you on the program.
All right.
And we'll be right back to talk about Sobro, what's happening in the South Bronx.